A family room should be comfortable, but it's also a big bonus to have a space you want to show off. Well, that's just the case for one Studio 5 viewer who wanted more than just a couch to sit on in her front room. So she dialed our designer and tapped into the Studio 5 design series meant to inspire us all. It's a chance to get free e-design advice from one of the best in the business. Designer Oviatt is here to tell us more about this month's Dial a Designer winner. Okay, so tell us about the viewer you chose. What was her problem? Tell us what's going on.
This is Bonnie we're working with today, and she needs to accommodate a lot of people. She has a lot of really great accommodation for people. So in this scenario, sometimes I work with clients who have beautiful things, but they're not functioning. In Bonnie's specific condition, she's like, everything functions really well, but I don't have any beauty. So that's what we're going to tackle today, is some of the kind of, oh, what do I do to brighten this space? How do I make this furniture work? She gave me a list of things that really can't go. You know, she needs to maximize seating. Her husband really likes that chair by the window.
What difficulties, what problems do you see with the space?
Well, you know, anytime we have a lot of one particular color and pattern, it makes it hard to bring in interest. So initially I'm thinking, oh, we got to replace the sectional with maybe a couple of sofas, but these sectionals really seem to be functioning for her.
They do. Well, and for most of us, right? I mean, this is kind of, I look at this and think, yeah, we've kind of all got this problem. How do you put people in and make it look nice at the same time?
So it becomes about everything else. We have to think about texture, scale, counterbalancing a piece as big as a sectional with something across. And anytime you have a giant sectional, it creates a void that is perfect for a giant coffee table or a coffee table ottoman grouping. So I think in that scenario, what we're going to dive in with Bonnie today is just you've grounded with all of your being able to accommodate people. Now let's make it beautiful.
Okay, so we will call Bonnie in just a moment, and you will fix all of these issues. As promised, our go-to designer, Oviatt, is back and ready to share the design concept she's brewed up for this month's Dial a Designer winner. We've dialed up Studio 5 viewer Bonnie Marshall. Hi, Bonnie. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, thank you.
How are you doing? Great.
Good.
We're great. Okay, so tell us about this space. Does it get a lot of use? It sounds like it does.
Yes, it's connected to the kitchen. It's open and connected to the kitchen, and families here all of the time. Every Sunday night we have dinner and it's here.
Yes, I think that's probably a common theme for a lot of people who have a space off the kitchen. And I understand that this space, you have a chair that your husband is very attached to. So one piece that just could not go.
It's over in the corner there by the little light.
So those chairs are a must stay. Okay, so Lauren, you've come up with a design, some ideas for Bonnie's space.
Yes.
Walk us through some of these.
Well, I'm so happy to work with Bonnie because I always want my clients to feel like we're achieving a dream together. And for Bonnie to need all this space with her family and friends, that's what we want. We don't design spaces so that people will stay out. We design spaces so that people will just gather and create great memories. So for Bonnie, we're going to keep the sectional. We're going to keep her husband's favorite chair and kind of imagine and recreate the space all around it. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about for Bonnie was creating a focal point, a really subtle focal point out of your fireplace wall, Bonnie. And I know that you have a fireplace that sits there and you've got windows all around it, which is so beautiful. And what I recommend is taking and trimming out each of those windows. We're going to show you a couple pictures to support the concept of creating a focal wall. I want you to trim all those windows out and then paint everything white. The trim, the walls, and all of those panels inside white. And what that does is creates a lot of architectural interest without overwhelming that side, because I think the focal will still be your TV wall. That's where all of the energy and all the seating's directed. But you can see how beautiful of an element this is.
It really does just
in and of
brighten
itself.
up that space right next to the windows.
It adds richness. The next thing that I want to talk about is sometimes, Bonnie, we have sectionals that make a room really heavy on one side. So if we can, let's leave your husband's chair where it is, but maybe incorporate a pair of chairs that sit right beside that TV unit of yours. You can do a fun pattern. You can do any shape, any style that you like. But I noticed you have a couple of kind of off chairs that are there. If you can find a pair that you like and ground that TV wall with those chairs, they won't be for viewing TV, but what they will do is create a lot of great balance for conversation across the room. And I think you'll find that they will get used. People like chairs.
Bonnie, does that sound like something you can do? How are we feeling so far?
Yeah, that's great. I think that's a great idea. The chairs don't have to match. You can just have two different chairs.
Yeah, some options in there.
Yeah.
Can you talk about An anchor piece.
Yeah, an anchor piece. So a giant sectional is great. It creates the perfect spot for a big ottoman or a big coffee table. I think in Bonnie's case, where she has a lot of fabric going on, I recommend doing a wood table or a table with a stone top or a metal top or anything that she really likes. But you can see in these images, what would this room be without the coffee table grounding it, anchoring it, and then giving you that awesome opportunity for accessorizing. Now, you may not live with giant horns like coming off of your coffee table, but everybody loves the option of accessorizing. I think that's what takes a room from good to phenomenal, fantastic. Fresh flowers, a stack of books, things that everybody has, Bonnie. And even like with Super Bowl Sunday, you've got your chips and dip, you've got a really fun dessert tray. So it gives you the chance to bring a lot of personality, your own personality, into that space.
So it's not just beautiful, it's also functional. Like you said, you can put plates on the table. What about the sectional? Can she keep it and get away with it? Does she need to let it go?
So we're going to keep the sectional. I like it. I actually think the color works really well for Bonnie in her space. But what Bonnie told me that she likes as far as colors go are those warmer tones. So instead of doing a rainbow of color for pillows and throws, I recommend that Bonnie stay in a monochromatic area of reds, oranges, yellows, and kind of keep things subtle but really beautiful with throw pillows, a throw blanket, and if she kind of sticks in that same tone when she goes shopping, she will begin to recognize the repetition of color and pattern. So Bonnie, whatever really grabs your attention, and you can do seasonal decorating too. We're showing you a couple of images of things that really have a lot of energy, but they're not all over the board. They do still have that kind of restrained, really curated palette, which I think makes a room feel really special, like you thought about it. So nothing super crazy, but you can see there's a lot out there these days in any store you go into that has pattern and color and geometrics and florals. So as long as Bonnie can stay in that tone of red, orange, yellow, cream, burnt orange, or mustard, I think she'll be really happy with what she finds.
And so those will speak to the neutral couch still. And so nice to be able to keep that big couch because they're expensive.
Yes.
It's hard to want to replace something like that.
Exactly.
So adding these little pieces, these accent pieces, really do make the difference in the room.
Gives it personality.
Yeah, absolutely. What other tips? Any final tips for Bonnie?
You know what? I always tell my clients, you need to save money in the budget for accessories because we could spend $15,000 on the room and furnishings, but if we don't save enough money for accessories, it doesn't matter. Things are going to feel plain. So we're going to show you some of these pictures once again. I want you, Bonnie, as you go through your process with this room, to think about areas and spaces where you can bring in your more of your personality. So throw pillows, side tables for a lamp. I've never seen anything more sad than a side table that is empty. It is meant for a place to put a drink, but in the meantime, put a lamp there, put a stack of books there, put a little catch-all that's really special to you or something from a vacation. So think about and look as you study these rooms, ways that they have incorporated really beautiful materials, glass, metal, burlap, linen, different finishes that really make the room what it is. It's something that, for my clients, takes a room from, I love this furniture, it's so comfortable, to, oh my gosh, every time I walk by this room, it just sings. And that's what we're going for.
And it's a good point. That really makes a big difference, that texture and depth. Bonnie, do you feel like this is something you can do?
Oh, yes, it's such great ideas. I'm excited about it because I love the warm colors. That's what I always tend to go to. I think it'll really brighten it up.
Excellent.
Great.
Thanks so much for joining us, Bonnie. Thanks for the question. And Lauren, where can we find out more about design services?
We have a great Instagram that we're sending people because people are following us from all over the world, which is fun. We have a retail store in Farmington off Shepherd Lane called Oviatt Design Group, and our Instagram is Oviatt Design Group too, where we post kind of little fun things about what we're finding, what we're loving, and some of our installations too.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Lauren.
Thank you.